Okay, we are live.
If you tell me one more time, I can see it.
No, I meant for the people, not for.
They can also see
it too.
Oh my god! You do this to me one more time. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. So, hello people. If you are here, if you are watching, say hello in the comments. I have a major lag, I think.
You do.
So, yeah, because I'm like, I never see anything until a couple minutes in, and all of a sudden, like, comments will come in. So I have no idea if people are here. But if you are, let us know. Say hello. Say hi. Do we need to introduce ourselves?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, okay. That's not that I don't mean that to sound like we don't need to, but I don't think we need to. Hello. How are you? Thanks for being here. We've seen you before.
Thank you for making that sound so impersonal.
Wait, what?
You sounded like a Sephora consultant. We've seen you here before.
We've seen you here before. We recognize you.
It's called being a regular. It's called being a participant in the show you do.
We love to see it.
I've seen you here before. Like at some kind of shady ass bar.
Hello, how are you? Seen you here before. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. I mean, okay. You can say on time for once, but anytime you join in is really on time. Like you're
that is not true.
It's unless you're joining in at the very end.
That's what I mean. Like that's not true. Like don't lie to people. That's not true. Anytime before the ending that you join is on time. Well, like that's patently not accurate.
Even if you show up at the end.
Would you show up to someone's party as everyone else is leaving? Is how I'd approach it. No. Okay, then you don't want to go to that party, is what you're saying.
I'm trying to think back in my head before I say no, if it's something that I've done before, because it's very possible it is something that I've done before, and so I don't want to say that I would not do that.
I have never done that.
I don't think I've done it on purpose. I will say that. I don't think I've done it on purpose. Oh, wow. Okay.
Orion's good.
We both, that's one of the series that we actually
have in common.
We have in common. We agree with. If you don't mind me asking, how much was the box set? Okay. Because I love Orion, but I'm like, I don't know if I would.
I don't like it that much. Like anything, it's weird because it's one of those series that I really like the structure of it. But I feel like this is, to me, one of the best examples of a series that did not need to go on as long as it did, which is why I kind of like the anime a little bit more than the manga.
Because it cuts some things down.
Like, really, there's no plot here.
Right. Which, side note, I do want to say that we're not telling you that you do whatever you want with your money.
We're not shaming you.
Right. Not at all. Because we do really like
the need to say that.
Well, just in case. Why? Just in case I didn't want anybody to think.
Hold on. Are we not allowed to talk about anything that like other people like? Because I saw that on Twitter and I was about to fight someone. So like, I'm not trying to call you out. Oh, 140. That's not the worst.
140 is not bad.
So, I've definitely spent more on dumber things.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But like this whole idea of I think you can still have like conversations about things that people like, can't you? Without having to quantify it?
Well, okay. This is a habit that I have.
Stop it, because I don't have it and I don't like it.
It's a habit that I have because I never want people to feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you spent that much money. I think because people have done that to me and I don't like how it feels, so I don't want to do it to other people.
But isn't that about intentionality, 1 and 2, on the other person?
Yeah, I guess. But
because you can't make me feel bad for my purchases. I'm an adult.
Right. True. Yeah, very true.
So like,
but just in case, it's the internet. I don't know.
But then that's not our responsibility.
Okay, fair. Fine. Fine.
Bad cop, Amanda.
Fine. Oh, okay. So I haven't read Berserk.
Too much. Okay, context for that. If you've never read or watched it, no, don't just dive into Berserk. That is not no. If you have no footing in that series, if that would be like your first introduction, no. Don't buy it.
I don't think I would buy hardcovers for it.
No,
just because
absolutely not.
I've never read it, so, and I don't think I have really much of an interest. Not because of the violence. Violence in manga doesn't bother me, but I mean, because Murcielago was one of my favorite series, and it's very it's ridiculous. But I don't. I just spending that extra money on a hardcover for something that you haven't. Oh, you've watched it. Okay. Oh, well, then if you've watched it,
do it.
I haven't watched it either, so I don't know if the violence is less in the anime than it is in the manga. Because if it's a similar level, then you should be fine. Yeah. Everyone likes Gundams, and I feel like I'm a bad fan because I look at, like, I don't know, like, I see things that people like to buy, and I'm just like, is there something wrong with me?
Like, so I used to do that until I started approaching it less from individual purchases to cumulative purchases. Because here's my thing. Could I imagine dropping $200 on one thing? No. Have I definitely spent over a weekend $200 on something? Yes. So, like, for me, I think about, like, con weekends, like, RIP con. Like, I might not have spent $200 on one manga. I have definitely spent $200 on manga.
Yeah. I guess it's like, when I see, because, okay, example, I was on Twitter scrolling and people were talking, I guess, like, something to do with Given is happening, and there's, like, people wanting to, and people are, like, wanting to buy merch, like, for it and stuff like that, and I kept thinking, man, like, there's just, maybe I just haven't found, maybe the series that I really love just don't really have merch, or I'm just not a good fan because I don't care about buying merch. Does that make sense? No, but
I wasn't gonna.
Sorry.
I'm going to. So I had that with Twittering Birds Never Fly. Now I didn't buy it. But I had, like, a box set that was like $100 US. It had, like, drama CDs, signed stuff from Koyoneda, and I was like, I need this. I need Domeki and Yashiro staring at me while I sleep. I need this. I did not feel comfortable dropping, like, $90 just because I'm old and black, and I feel like my mom would rise from the dead and tell me to stop spending money. Because she would. Right. Because she would. But yeah, like, when you have a series that you're willing to spend money on, you will spend. Okay, $200 on My Hero Academia, I will judge you slightly for.
Okay, but they're just but I feel like with that, it's pretty easy to spend that much because it's a longer series, right?
Yeah, like, if you're buying, like, individual volumes to catch up, it's easy to spend.
Yeah, you can do that without meaning to, because I've definitely done that. Like, I'm going to catch up with the series, and then by the end, I'm like, crap.
That's honestly, like, one of the big reasons I kind of stopped doing, like, volumes for things if they're going on for too long. I will buy. Typically now, if I own a volume of something, it's a series I've already finished.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to do something new, I will probably either do, like, Shonen Jump or, I mean, I'm not really pirating any of the big three because, again, as I mentioned in the piracy episode, still our least listened to episode. Still our least listened to episode. You have no excuse to pirate the big three. Right. I have no excuse to pirate the big three. If I really, for all of the unfortunate stuff I've been ingesting with My Hero Academia, I have no need to pirate it, so I don't. But if I'm trying to ingest, I don't know, the given manga, if I lose taste, then I probably wouldn't start just, like, buying individual manga volumes of that, or even, like, Hitori Jimi My Hero, which I really really like, but, like, the manga is technically ongoing, so or they're still printing it because it has not come to the US legally until now, so, like, that's probably not something I'm going to buy for a while. until I can get it like in an omnibus or something.
Right. And that's something too, like I was thinking about that because this isn't, obviously it's not BL, but Yona of the Dawn is a series that I had been, like I've heard so many good things about it, and it has a lot of elements that I'm pretty certain I'm going to enjoy this series. But like when I started buying it, I knew it was ongoing, but I didn't know how many volumes were out.
Yeah.
It was very recently when I found out how many volumes are out in English, and also how many volumes they're up to in Japan, which of course I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it's a lot. And I was just like, wait a minute, do I really want to keep, like, because that's a lot. It's a lot. Some of these series get so long, and I have to ask myself, is it how much, like, is it really worth me continuing to invest in it and then also take up space? One thing I love about Yaoi BL is that they tend to be shorter series.
No,
at least okay, the ones that I've picked up, I should say.
I was getting ready to say Honto Yaju is a series that I love. Started in college. We're up to like what would be the equivalent of like I think 20 volumes, and it's still ongoing.
Ugh.
Like,
okay, so
some
rephrasing.
Jay no Subete had a ton of it really just depends. Now, what you might be seeing is the effects of censorship and bad licensing. Because a lot of shit gets cut.
Okay, yeah.
Right. So like Gravitation, I think, is only like 12 volumes in the manga. That's ignoring the mega mixes, the remixes, the dojins, and what was left on the cutting room floor because we had to make age gaps less crappy, and we couldn't include all of the child trauma. So it's not necessarily that a lot of BL is shorter. It's we're not getting it.
Right, which that is fair. And I should also have clarified that I also tend to just lean towards shorter ones in general. So to me, from my perspective, there's a lot of shorter BL when really that's just, there's a lot that I am buying. So that's,
They'll never be released as omnibuses, not the BL, the big shonen. I have seen BL omnibuses, and I think that depending on the series, you could get it. I think especially now as some of these older series do get reprints and they're starting to see that fans like me will buy it, I do think that they'll start getting that reprint. Well, I mean, honestly, the whole omnibus thing is very, very weird because a lot of them do tend to... The thing with manga is that they're meant to be self-contained, but also a continuation. So I think my favorite example of that is like Full Metal Alchemist. The Full Metal Alchemist omnibuses. Where they cut is very weird. It's like this is not a season. This isn't a season. Like I think where I really noticed it was 6, 7, 8. It's like right around where the manga and the anime split.
Okay.
So where you get Brotherhood and then the original run.
Right.
That 6, 7, 8 volume. It's like this is not a season.
Right.
This is just a weird chunk of pictures you put together. And I get it, like, if you're buying an omnibus, you probably already know the series. But if you're like a lot of newer fans where you're buying Omnibuy because the series is 50-something books and you just want to condense,
right,
you have not told the story. This is just fucking weird.
Yeah. I mean, I see that because, like, even with Holic is one that I have a good portion of it in single volumes. Because I started reading it when it was first, I guess, releasing in English. But then there was a point where I got behind, and then so to catch up, I picked up the omnibus versions, and I noticed that it is like the way
cut weird.
It's like it's just so weird how it can be done. Where you're like, wait a minute, why is it stopping?
Right, like why are we stopping here?
Oh, like
Yellow does have an omnibus, which is why I mentioned Yellow. But also Yellow is shorter, so you can do that. Yellow 1 and 2 is only 8 volumes total. So there's 4 volumes in Yellow 1 and 4 in Yellow 2. So you 100% can do an omnibus of Yellow. Shit, you can put all 4 volumes into one thick ass book.
If you, I mean, there are some.
I don't know why you would,
right?
But you could do that.
I mean, didn't Viz do was it Viz that did a Death Note, like huge, like just one omnibus.
They did.
Yeah, like it's super thick.
Death Note's 12 volumes. I could see that. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I guess,
it's Bible thick, but I
right,
could see it.
right. Oh, because I can see that because you
Yeah.
may not get to you may not get to
Ever finish it.
yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, like I don't know. It's so weird that like so actually, fun fact, I might need a second Yaoi shelf because one of my friends donated 4 volumes of Another Boy's Love to me. So my shelf is full.
Right.
So I might have to clean out a second shelf.
Hey, Rachel.
And here's where I cover my ass and I try not to sound shady, but I'm probably gonna sound shady. So like I've been seeing a lot of like shelf porn with our friends and our acquaintances out in like the ether. And for a minute, like I felt like a bad fan because it's like I don't have this many shelves of Boys Love, and it's like, why do I need to feel like just because I have physical volumes of stuff that I'm not a fan? Like that, I felt really bad for a minute, and of course, like I didn't tell anyone because I'm a semi, I don't talk about my feelings. But like I felt really like inferior. It's like I don't have an entire bookshelf. Who the fuck?
Sorry, Matt just got home and he was sneezing.
Quiet on the
and
set.
He just I'm gonna mute my microphone.
Quiet on the set, please. Rude. And
he didn't know I was live.
Rude and hateful.
Sneeze or pee, and so I didn't mute the mic.
The level of unprofessionalism on this stream.
I wasn't expecting that. I thought I told him that I was going live at 3, but I must not have, or he would not have done that. So
it's fine. I was just like, what the fuck? Like, like it was just loud enough to be like, is that in my house? Because it should be. I live alone.
And by the time I noticed it, I was like, oh well, too late to hit mute. Like
But yeah, like I was to my point, like I was starting to like really insecure because it's like, oh man, like am I not really like a BL fan? And it's like I don't need 1,000 volumes of Sublime books to show that I'm a fan.
Right. You know, honestly, like because I know that we both came into this from different, spots. So you have been, you do paneling and things like that, whereas I'm a manga tuber or whatever. And so as a manga tuber, the inferiority complex, the insecurity around how many volumes of manga you own is real. Like now I personally, because I'm a minimalist, it doesn't bother me as much. Like, because I already know, like, my goal is not to have this huge collection, because just because you have a huge collection doesn't necessarily mean you can talk about
exactly. And, like, and that was the weirdest thing, is that like I know that.
Right. But even if you know it, it doesn't like feelings are weird like that, where they're not, they don't listen to your brain. They don't care. So I feel
it's really easy. I mean, shit, I could go clear out a half price and have 30 more volumes of Boys Love to fill a shelf. Do I care about any of them? No.
Right. Am I going to read them?
Am I going to read any of them?
And like want to talk about them? Like that's the thing. It's like, I believe very much in quality over quantity, and quality depends on like what, I mean, that's based on, everyone's individual
quality. Taste. Just like, so like I find so if you look at all of my anime shelves, because I have there's 3 right now. There's 1 yaoi shelf and like 2 shonen shelves. I own what I like. So I don't have every volume of Inuyasha. I have my favorites.
Oh, you have interesting. Okay.
I don't have all of Naruto. I have my favorites. I don't have all of Bleach. I have my favorite movies and the character guides. I have all of Fullmetal Alchemist, but that was a gift. And I have all like some of the shorter series like Samurai Champloo and Trigun and Yu Yu Hakusho. Well, I have the first season of Yu Yu Hakusho. But like those long series that went on for 1,000 years, no, I don't. I have a lot of individual DVD volumes of Inuyasha. I don't have a lot of the manga, and I don't have the entire series or any of the movies. Right. Does that make me less of a fan of Inuyasha? No, it just means that I have finite space and finite money.
Right. And yeah, like trying to grow a big if a big collection is what you want, it's going to take a while. Like
Right.
don't feel like a lot of the times like I'll see, and it's usually usually people younger than I am. Sometimes people who are my age or older, but usually it's younger people who are like, "Oh, I want that big collection." And like I worry that I sometimes worry that about contributing to this whole like this consumerism
I
thing.
mean, you are.
You're right, but I guess I worry that I'm
You
doing
are.
it irresponsibly sometimes. If that does
Is
that
is there a responsible way to promote capitalism?
uh,
No, there's not. You're
there's not.
literally sponsored by
Yeah.
Viz. You're telling
Right.
people to buy things. There is no
Yeah.
ethical way to support
Right.
consumerism.
True. I mean,
So,
it's yeah.
well, welcome to Amanda's capitalist corner.
Right.
Well, the
But it's
communism
some
corner because I'm anti-capitalism right now.
right. But it's something that I do struggle with because like I don't know, like I never want someone
Well,
to
no, you don't struggle
go
with it because you still take
broke
Viz's
or
money. Like, you don't
oh
struggle with
yeah.
it. It's okay.
Well, okay, I should say because like yeah, but I also am very particular. Like like I don't just talk about random manga just to
I
talk about
know.
like everything I talked about. I love so I'm very strategic with what
Okay.
you know what I
This is
mean? So if I'm going to promote consumerism, I may as well promote it for things that I actually enjoy and think that people would enjoy and
sure.
would be worth them spending money on.
But it's still promoting
But it's
consumerism.
still
So even if
yeah,
you have a good time doing it, you're
right.
still doing it.
Yes. And that's where I get it is like it's still like it's like a weird thing where
Sure.
because in my real life, like in my real this is my real life, but in general, like I don't like I'm not someone who goes around like again, I say this all the time, I'm a minimalist and I'm very intentional with what I buy. And it's like I want to promote that. I want to promote like being intentional because you're gonna buy stuff. People are
Right.
gonna buy stuff.
Right.
And there are people are gonna make stuff for us to buy. But like
Right.
I want to make sure that I am promoting like intentionality and instead of just picking up like any manga just because you want to I don't know have like a huge collection. Like it's
Right.
just like a weird trying to find a balance between like being a fan and like wanting to throw money at
So at
you
least for me, I usually
know.
balance that by being a media critic more than like a reviewer.
Mm.
So I will never say that I'm a reviewer. If you call me a
Mm-hmm.
reviewer, I'm probably going to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a media critic, ma'am.
It was it's sliding. I accidentally broke the little ties that like you tie first underneath this robe. I don't know how that happened, but anyways, I have to fix it. Go
But
ahead.
so I don't tend to call myself a reviewer. I'm a media critic. I
Mm-hmm.
know that sounds more pretentious because it is.
Yeah.
Because it is.
It
But I in being able to do that,
mm-hmm.
one, I'm usually not paid or given anything by a company.
Mm-hmm.
I do what I want. I say what I want. When I
Mm-hmm.
am given stuff by a company, again, I'm never paid. When I write for Fangirl Nation, I don't get
Mm-hmm.
money. I get
Right.
stuff. I don't get money.
Right.
So even if like someone gives me something, I can still say I don't like it.
Yeah.
I can't be
Well,
mean,
right.
but I can say
Yeah.
that I don't like it
Right.
because no one's
I
paying me.
I do want to clarify that I'm not sponsored by Viz. I just do content for them. Like all the videos that you see me in, they don't go on my channel. Like my channel is my channel. So like anything I say on there, that's 100% like my opinion. Like I was, I did a sponsored, no, I say sponsored. I did a video for them, a promotional video for them for Ron and the Gray World, like a while back. And I've since completed the series and I just like have been very honest, about my feelings on it. And that's one thing I did talk to them before I talked to them about before I signed my contract. I was like, hey, am I still allowed to like I'm not signing over my channel, right? I'm not like signing over my ability to actually give my honest opinions about things. And they're like, no, like and I read over it, had Matt read over it. Because I was like, I still want to be able to be, although I don't consider myself like a critic, I still want to be able to be critical if I feel the need to be critical. But yeah, I'm not sponsored by them. I just get paid for content here and there whenever they want to use it on their platforms. Just to clarify, I didn't want anybody to think that I'm like that every video that you see me doing, like even the unboxing, like that wasn't that was me on my own. Like they didn't pay me to do it or anything. Just clarifying. Just I don't want people to be like, all of his videos are paid. They're not on my channel. Okay. I'm done now.
Okay. Thank you for that.
I just had to say
I think my favorite thing that you do, and I wanted to like a pie chart of how much time you spend rationalizing other things you've done. Is just how much time do you spend just rationalizing and explaining what doesn't need to be rationalized or explained?
I mean, but that's the thing, is like I don't know if it doesn't need to be. I think
that's not up to us.
I guess. I just
this is why you're the better content creator, because I'm not going to call you famous because you get upset every time I do.
Oh my gosh, I do.
But like, this is why you're the better content creator, is because you make assumptions about people and I don't.
I get okay. I won't even say that it's so much that it's more like I want to always make sure that I am understood and that my intentions are understood. And so I feel like
once as a writer, that pisses me off so much, because what you're saying is that if everything is not spoon-fed to your audience, that they can take your words and run with them. If you misconstrue what I say, once those words have left my mouth and my intentionality is clear, and if you somehow want to twist that, that is on reader. That's not on you.
Okay. If I love all our viewers, but none of my viewers actually know me. Like some of them do know me in real life, but most of them don't know me in real life. And so I guess I don't like to assume that people are going to understand where I'm coming from when they don't even know me, and the only time they see me is in my videos. Now, if like with people that I know in real life, I don't feel the need to explain myself because they know me, and but people who don't know me on the internet, they don't know me. So it makes me more comfortable to be like, hey, just y'all don't know me, but here, does that?
No, it doesn't.
I think it does.
That's okay. So, what are we talking about? We have not done anything.
We've answered, like we've been talking.
We've answered a couple questions.
Yeah.
I mean, I started collecting when I was in high school, and I gave a bunch of my stuff to my anime club when I graduated from college. So I took a lot of my stuff from high school, moved it with me to college, and then college I gave away a bunch of my stuff to my anime club because I was dating the then president.
Was that sip needed? that was emphasis.
Because I was, dating the then president who took over after me. Nepotism, sorry. So like, yeah, I mean, but also like collections change. And your desire to collect, like I said, like for me personally, I don't want every single volume of a thing unless it's like very finite. I don't want all the Naruto. No, I don't. I just don't. I don't want all the Inuyasha. I don't even want all the Gravitation. Most of the manga is actually quite boring.
Interesting. That's an interesting, because like for me, I am very much like, if I have a series, if there's a series that I've read and I'm going to buy it, I'm either not going to buy it or I'm going to buy the whole series. Like the concept of only keeping volumes that I enjoyed is really different to me. I'm kind of curious. It makes me want to go back and reread some of my other series to see if there are any that I own that I would want to do that with, and like, because that's so interesting. Like, I just can't imagine. I'm looking at, I don't know if I could, even the ones that I didn't love, if it's part of the whole series, like, I don't know if I could get rid of them? Because I almost feel like, what if I want to go back and read or reread the series, and then I'm mad at myself for taking out this one part because I can't remember
but it's
the
also
details.
like, for me, also a lot of it comes down to, again, it's like, what is something that I'm likely going to go back to the start for? I am very not likely to go back to the start of Naruto. I am very not likely to go back to the start of Inuyasha.
Right.
I am likely to go back to the start of Full Metal Alchemist, which, cool, I can get that on Netflix. I have it on DVD. I can get it on Hulu. I have all these places that I can access it. And again, coming at this more from anime than manga. And even the manga, I'm pretty sure that I have volume 1 floating around somewhere. So like, yeah, like the ones that I would want to reread to make this about BL again, yes, I have those. The ones that I want to reread, I own those. And I do what I can to collect them. So like when volume 4, Twittering Birds Never Fly comes out, bet your ass I'm getting that. Because I want that series. I want all of it. I'm actually a little bit frustrated because I own pieces of it digitally and pieces of it physically. I want all of it physical now.
Right. What do you have physically and what do you have digitally?
I have 1 and 3 digitally. I have 2 physical.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Sketch and not subtle. But like, sketch and not subtle at all. But yeah, like, so things that I'm highly likely to read or that I know are getting rare. So like if I see like, okay, so Eerie Query. I know I've mentioned that one a few times. That was one I read in high school. Loved it. I now own all 4 volumes of it, like finding it like at half price and stuff. I am so glad I snatched that up. No one's reprinting that.
Right. Ooh, that leads me to a question. I see a lot of people, and I've actually been asked this question. People are like, oh, what do you do when you start to notice like that series are coming out of print? I don't even know how to tell. Like I've never paid attention. So what are ways that you personally, I guess, go about figuring out if something's going out of print?
Okay, so there's usually a couple of ways you can tell. Some companies will tell you. Like, I'm pretty sure Sublime will and June will, like, hey, fuck this title. Like,
right.
Volume 4. Yeah, go for it. Yachting's not bad. It's not my favorite, but it's not bad. But like June and Sublime, I'm pretty sure on the newer will be like, hey, fuck this. Bye.
Yeah.
For me, it's not so much a knowing, it's an age and volume. So I think a good litmus test is looking at what people are talking about. So if there's a series you like and there's no one talking about it, guess what? You're probably not going to get it.
Right. Yeah.
So internet chatter, as frustrating as it is.
Right.
Yeah, Right Stuff is usually pretty good. Amazon, I don't like using Amazon because they like to pick and choose with what content is acceptable. Hence the Yachiren Bitch Club controversy of 2020. I don't like using Amazon as much for that because that's just stupid. I mean, I still use them for everything else. I bought a rose gold humidifier.
That is so interesting. I don't use Amazon for like random stuff anymore, except for this robe. I did use it for this.
Well, my aunt gave me a gift card for my birthday.
Oh yeah.
So, and she was like,
"I'm use it."
Yeah, and she's like, "I'm worried about your allergies. Get a humidifier." So of course I got like the bougiest rose gold humidifier.
That sounds cute.
It's very cute. It's pink. It's rose gold. It's great. So I don't like using Amazon for that. That's what I was getting at. Like, it's also just scarcity and age. Like, again, Eerie Query was, thank you. I am very bougie. I am everyone's bougie auntie. Also for me, it's like, it's age. So for me, Eerie Query, read that when I was in high school. That was many, 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 many years ago.
Still not more than me, but okay.
But it was. It's not a pissing contest. It was a long time ago. We're both fucking old there. You're older than me. You win. One of us is closer to death. I don't know what you want me to say. One of us is closer to dying. Excellent. It was a long time ago. you win the old off. Congrats. But again, a series no one's talking about.
Right.
No one's talking, and that's fine. That's fine. It's not that great. I have nostalgia for it. I'm not gonna say it does. It should. It. Oh my god! I've been reading all these like underrated series everyone should watch. It's like,
yeah,
you know what, dude? I get it. I feel jilted a lot by the summer everyone decided they liked ice skating. But like, there's a difference between underrated and your shit isn't popular.
Right.
And that's okay. It's okay that your shit isn't popular. Because you always have to preface not popular in America. Because American fans are different than Japanese fans.
True.
So, twittering birds never fly. If I was in Japan, they had a wine, they had a cafe. You could get Yashiro and Domeki on everything. They had a music collab where they were playing instruments. That never even happened in the manga. They just... I would be fucking twittering birds decked out if I was in Japan. I'm not.
Right.
And it's not as popular here.
Right.
So that's no one's fault but the kids for having bad taste. Sorry. But like, buzz is a good way of knowing if your thing is going to be either out of print or scarce to print.
Right.
I think also, again, like age is a big thing. So like a lot of our older Fumiyoshi manga titles that we mentioned, a lot of those are just old and they're not as popular.
Right.
And you also do have to consider, and this is going to sound shady, is it really good?
Right.
Because there's a lot of things that both of us like that we know are trash. Which means that it's not going to be popular.
Right.
So like a strange and mystifying story, which I did not know had like 9 volumes. No one told me that had like 9. I think it has like 7 or 9 volumes. No one fucking told me. I thought it was like a one shot. Yes.
Oh.
No one told me it went on that long. I thought it was like a fucking one shot. I had no idea.
Right.
But like, it's trash. And it's okay. It's my trash.
Yeah.
It has a hot guy with animal ears and demons.
That's great.
Yeah, it's fine.
Mean, that's that is why, and that actually kind of leads me into something that I did want to mention today. But that's a big reason why I'm always just telling people like, listen, when people are like, oh, well, what do you think I should like? Should I pick this up or like, can you give me recommendations? I'm like, no, just read stuff, and if you like it, you like it. Because I may not like the thing that you like, and you may not like what I like.
I think I say this every episode. It's not that I don't like giving out recommendations. I don't like being asked without context.
Yeah.
Because I need to know. It needs to be like a marriage license. I need to know a lot about you. Because I don't want to be the person that gives you something that accidentally triggers you.
Oh my gosh,
or something like that. Because there's a lot of things that I like that are, again, objectively bad.
Yeah.
Like, they're objective. Like, this is a horrible, monstrous act. Or this is graphically violent. Or this talks about women in a way that is very, very bad.
Right.
Or this literally uses a slur. Like, I don't want to be that, like, uncle who's like, hey, you want to read a magazine? It's like a fucking hustler. Like, I don't want to be that dirty uncle that everyone has. You know, that one Christmas when you're too young. It's like, what you doing? You want to read a book? And, you know,
oh my God.
They hand you, you know, like a stack of fucking Playboys.
And
I don't want
like,
to be that uncle. I don't want to be that gross uncle to anyone.
Right.
So, like, tell me what you like. Tell me what you like watching for Western stuff. Do you like Batman? Do you like medical dramas? Like, tell me what you like in other stuff. And then I can give you a recommendation. Don't just say, what do you recommend? It's like, because you like when you do that at restaurants, like, what do you recommend? It's like, it's a fucking, it's food. What do you like eating? What do you mean? What do I recommend? It's fucking food.
Right. It's like,
no universal flavor. What do you like eating? What won't you eat? Do you have any allergies?
That is so true. That is so true. Oh my gosh. So speaking of I think, speaking of things that honestly have a lot of objectively questionable.
Are you trying to get me heated? What is it?
It's I don't think you'll be heated. I don't think you'll be heated. So I've recently read Can an Otaku Like Me Really Be an Idol?
Sure.
Um I freaking loved it, and
Okay.
I made myself a hypocrite.
Okay.
So basically this there's this they're in high school. First of all, let me just preface this by saying they're in high school. And one of the boys is very much like he's an idol otaku, and he also does like he dresses up as a girl on the internet
It's a trap.
and like does stuff like it's I mean whatever. And he huh
It's a trap.
uh, so he ends up running into a classmate and then finding out that this classmate is also a fellow idol otaku, but he's trying to kind of hide it. And so the one that gets found out decides to then finds out about the first boy and his cross-dressing. And so he's like, I'm going to use it as blackmail. So blackmail happens. But then the best part, though, which I should not, I'm a hypocrite. The best part is that when all this is going on, the first boy, who is supposed to be, who you would think would be the uke based on how he looks, turns out to be a very aggressive femboy. And I was like, I'm here for this. And he definitely, the R word happens. Like, it's not consenting at all. But then it gets glossed over because it's like,
Okay,
oh yeah.
so I'm gonna pause. You got upset when I used the word trap for what is clearly a trap scenario. Trying to PC up something that doesn't need to be PC'd.
No, well, because not that I've got like in context, now that I know the like what, but just from when I've heard that word previously, it's never used in that in the context. Yeah, it's all. So I wasn't sure. I was like, ooh,
so
I don't know where she's going.
If you
with
don't
this.
know.
I didn't mean to
prematurely clock me.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know you caught me because I was like, ooh.
It wasn't subtle. Can I help you? Is there something I can do for you?
I just didn't want, just in case. I was like, oh.
A fucking who? There's nothing. Oh my God.
Listen, I don't ever want to offend someone.
Then do nothing. That's literally a quote from Winston Churchill. To avoid criticism, do nothing.
Anyway.
Good Lord.
I will say though, even though I don't think that it's necessarily a trap though, because he's not really. Anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that this was trash, and I absolutely loved it. I loved every second of it. I loved the characters. It's trash. And
also, correction, yeah. Aristotle, not Churchill.
It's okay. I wouldn't have caught that, and I wasn't gonna.
Oh, that okay.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say nothing. But this book, yeah, it's definitely sus. But yep, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was so ridiculous. I don't
really know how that makes hypocritical. Like I think like you have built this like false purity brand in yourself, and it like really like makes it hard for you to like things. Okay,
I will say this: I don't think I have a false purity. I talk about literal hentai on the internet, so I don't think I have a.
But there's other aspects where you are very like, oh, I don't know if I like this.
Well, so what made me a hypocrite is not so much, it's just that they're in high school, and I always say that like, and it's very like it is explicit, like they are legit, it's depicted, and so I was like, ooh, dang, like I say that I don't like, I don't like stories set in high school that's explicit, but this one is, and I love it, and I've been very open about it. I don't think
that makes you hypocritical because it's related to trauma. Like,
I guess it's true.
No, it is. There's no I guess. Like, it's related to trauma.
Right.
So
true.
Your trauma doesn't know. Like, it's not about that. Like,
Right.
so
Yeah, it's not me. It's not about me like being content police and being
yeah,
like,
like you're
you're
not just like,
horrible.
yeah, you're not just
Yeah.
like PC gone mad.
Right.
You are literally triggered by this. And there's
Right.
plenty of things that are related to my trauma that I'm
Mm.
not triggered by.
Right. And this surprised me because I was like, oh, I like this.
So it's probably just the framing that it's so ridiculous that it doesn't trigger you.
Yes, that's because everything about it just it felt like it was obviously supposed to be ridiculous and over like
Right.
yeah, that's exactly it. Because it was so fun. And I say all that to say that if anyone has read this, that I'm like blinding you with, there you go. If anyone's read this, mention it down here because it's interesting. It's interesting. Hey.
Yeah, that one was never really high on my list just because like that premise just
yeah.
It's not that it doesn't do anything for me. It just
okay, knowing what I know about you and your like I don't think that you would read this and be like angry for reading it, but I don't think like I wouldn't tell you to go and buy this.
Okay, so here's one thing I will say. I'm honestly not as much of a snob as you think. I'm really not. Like I'm kind of shocked by this like image that you have in your head of like me kind of being snobby with this. I'm not a snob.
No.
It just takes a lot to really like get me to say like highly praise things about something.
I don't think I think you're a snob. It's more so just like when I think about the things that you like, I think you could read this.
But I've mentioned
fine.
Things that I like that you're shocked by. So you don't know everything I like. You still know a very small chunk of what I like.
I guess that's true. The only thing I was shocked
There's no I guess.
What was I shocked by that you liked? Paradise Kiss?
No, you were shocked by I think it was Hide and Seek.
Oh yeah, I was shocked because it's literally like every time you're like, oh, I hate shoujo like things, and it's very shoujo-ish, and so I just thought,
yeah, okay. But no one's written badly. I don't say that I don't like I don't dislike shoujo. I don't like bad writing, and I've said that before. I don't like bad writing in shonen. I don't like bad writing in shoujo. I don't like bad writing in josei. I don't like bad writing. Just shoujo tends to eat up a lot of the bad writing. Don't put words in my mouth. My big banner has consistently been, I don't like bad writing and I don't like weak characterization. What is shoujo full of?
I mean, that's not really fair because Oku is shoujo.
Who labels Oku as shoujo?
It is. If you look it up, it is definitely shoujo.
I would never demo that as shoujo.
That's why demographics are stupid.
Okay, because I would never demo that as shoujo.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
In my life, I would never demo that as shoujo.
I wouldn't either.
Okay, sure.
When I made that josei like that josei video or whatever, I was gonna mention Oku and then I didn't because it's labeled as shoujo, and I was like, well, I can't mention it as josei even though it feels like josei.
Even though it obviously is. Even though it obviously is.
Yeah, I'm just like, that's weird. So that's an example of why demographics don't matter for us. I don't know how. Maybe in Japan they still mean something, but
I mean,
maybe I don't.
But yeah, like it's not so much like that's always my thing is I just don't like bad writing, and the shoujo that tends to be popularized, the shoujo that tends to come over here as a genre, less as a demo, because there are definitely still genre conventions.
Which is what I guess I thought, like, so that's what I thought you didn't like was just like I guess a lot of the genre things that happen. So it's just writing in general.
Yeah, it's just okay. Yeah, because how many times have you heard me complain about My Hero Academia? And that's shonen. Like I don't like bad writing in anything, in movies, in anime, in manga, in books. I don't like it.
Right.
It makes me angry. So no, I don't like that in anything. Like it is not. Now, if you asked me in high school, then it just was misogyny. It's like, oh, fuck shoujo. It's for girls. Like, you are one. Shut up. Like, But like now, no, I don't like bad writing.
Right. Which is still, I guess, for hide and seek. Yeah, I was more surprised because I was like, this is a cute story.
It is.
It's like you don't like. So I
But
just had the impression that you didn't
no
like
one's
cute
written
stuff.
badly. Everyone has a well-rounded character. Everyone's motivations make sense. There's actually a decent amount of complexity, not a ton for the time that we're given, but there's like complexity. No one's villainized, which is lovely.
Right. Yeah.
Like I'm not Batman. I'm not all gloom, doom, and angst and non-consensual sex. Like I do like some of this stuff. It just has to be well written.
Well, that's good to know. I will say that
because I mentioned at the top of the show Honto Yaju, which is about a slice of life fluffy as you can get.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's about it's about an ex-yakuza who like shacks up with a cop, and it is literally if twittering birds never fly could be the sojo you always wanted.
Interesting.
That's literally what it is. Like as soon as I said, I was like, it's literally twittering birds if you could make it Orion.
Interesting.
It's perfect for you.
Which you say that Orion actually is more of, it's a nostalgic thing. I had read it earlier this year or last year. I read the whole thing for a podcast that I guested on, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I enjoy aspects of Orion.
I love that you say nostalgia and a year ago. I read Orion and watched when I was in high school.
No, I read when I first read. I reread it. Like no, Orion was the second manga I ever collected. No, like I have like the old school. Like look at this. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Like super old. I think I bought this from
Borden.
Either Borders or Walden Books.
Oh man,
one of those places.
Pour one out for Walden's.
Or maybe even like some of them I bought from Hastings when that was a thing back in the day where you could get stuff. Yeah, no. So Orion is like, I read it a long time ago, but then reread it. I think it was last year, and when I reread it, I was like, "This is fine."
Yeah,
this is fine. It's fine.
I think Orion has tropes that are interesting. Yes. The execution is hella sketchy.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I always wanted to work at Walden Books. I worked in a mall that had a Walden Books, but like they were never hiring. I wanted to work there so bad, which actually it worked out because, you know, we all know what happened to Walden Books. So sad. R.I.P. Yes, I love slice of life fluffy. Like I am currently, I wish I had more BL on my shelves to like that fit into these categories. I guess the closest one would be My Dining Table is kind of slice of life.
You also have what did you eat last? Or
but it's not, yeah, that's right. It's not next to me, but I forgot about that. Yeah, that's very slice of life.
That's why I said it. I know. That's why I said it.
I'm like, what?
Oh my
god! I'm looking at the wrong case. It's anyway.
Oh, I also found there is a Scarlet Berryco title that I don't hate.
No.
Yeah, I think it's Queen and Taylor. And it's literally a businessman and a tailor, and they're very, very cute. The Uke is the older one. I like it.
That totally adorable.
I totally forgot that was Scarlet Berryco because the writing was good.
Don't do her like that. I know that. Okay, I know that fourth generation head. We both.
No, not just that one. There's other ones that I've read of hers that I'm like.
Okay, well, okay. Because I've only read.
Yeah, she's not new in this game, honey. I've read other Scarlet Berryco.
Oh yeah, I forget you.
I'm not new in this game. I've read me some Scarlet Berryco. Fourth generation head was not the one and done. I have been exposed, ma'am. But I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot that was Scarlet Berryco because like the writing was okay. Like I completely forgot. So I remember.
So rude.
I'm sorry, she's not.
But Jack Jackass is really good.
For who?
Jackass is good.
For who?
I like.
Okay.
But because you've read that one.
It's fine. I'm not going to call it good.
Okay,
It's
but
fine.
like it's not as bad as far as the writing goes. It's not like fourth generation.
The bar is very low. The bar is so low. Just barely graces. There's that much clearance on that bar.
Whatever. It's not that bad.
It's fine. It's serviceable.
Oh.
Huh.
Wait, so they would.
What?
It's weird that they would like. Hopefully, they weren't actually laughing at you because I like to organize things by author. And then, wait, is that?
No, you don't.
That's a fine way to order things, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, if they're using a system already. So they already have an established system for their POS. Don't fuck that up.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they are, so like I used to be a library assistant in junior high.
Mm-hmm.
If there's already an established system and then you come in, yeah, fuck you. Sorry.
That's fair. Because I've recently switched my shelf, so I don't have it like that now. But there for a long time, I had it separate. I had my shelves as much as I could separated by author and then in chronological order.
So I don't have any rhyme or reason to my books, but all of the manga and the anime, like series are all kept together, and I have them as chronological as I can.
Yeah. See, I had mine set up like that once.
Yeah.
Jackass is fun. Fourth generation head.
I mean, I'm not going to tell you to not reread it, but I don't think either of us liked it. No,
like it was, I wanted to. I know I wanted to like it because I really wanted to believe. Art. Like
she does. I think that's the most frustrating. So I think, oh God. Was that in the 28-day Yaoi thing that we completely abandoned around day 20? Where it's like, who do you wish just like made art books?
Yes.
Okay. I think Scarlet Betty Co. is kind of on that list for me now. Because her stuff is so hit and miss that it's like some of her storytelling is really good and really concise, and her sex scenes are good and her anatomy's good. And then other times she writes a story and it's like where were you? What is happening here?
Yeah, and her art, like
her art's really good.
I've even mentioned in other videos that like I would love for her to just have an art book so I can look at her sexy characters.
Like if I could get because so her and Harada have the same tone issues.
I've never read any of Harada's.
I think you'd like Harada.
Have I read? I don't think I have.
No, you haven't. I like Harada, but they have some of the same tone issues. If they could collaborate on like a fashion zine, fucking take my money.
Right.
So Google Harada's art later.
Okay.
Harada and Scarlet Berry Co. If y'all could get together and do like a fashion zine of just nice gay men, take my money. Don't write a word. No one say anything. No one speaks.
Nothing.
No speaking. But like, take my money. That would be amazing. Just a nice like street fashion zine of OCs. No one say anything. No dialogue. No speaking.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, sometimes it's really nice. Excuse me. I really like art books. I don't have as many as I would love to have, but I love to just like flip through it. And there are some or she is one that I would definitely want. And I would want an art book.
I wouldn't be afraid of Harada. I would just say that some of Harada's work does have what we in the West like to call a tone problem. This is dark, or this didn't go the way I expected. But some of her stuff is actually genuinely really, really fluffy and funny. I think there's one that she's just doing. It's like Something Shitty Life, and it's actually really, really funny. She's definitely older school where like she cares less about things like consent and stuff. Which I'm old, so I don't tend to mind that in fiction. But like I like Harada's work. Just sometimes some of her storytelling is like, where was this going? Like clearly had a plan for this, and then something happened and I don't know what that something was.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that can happen a lot in a lot of just even regular books, but in manga,
it can, but I tend to notice it a lot in Boys Love because when you have more what tend to be truncated series, because I'm not going to say that they're shorter, they just tend to be more concise stories. Because like that's the thing with Boys Love. I won't always say that they're shorter. They usually just tend to be more concise, kept in stories. When you have a very limited amount of time to tell a story, you are going to fuck up.
Right. Yeah.
It's just gonna happen. It's why authors can't end things.
Yeah. Well, especially when you think of, I know with Fourth Generation Head, that was just a one shot. And I think Jealousy is a
Jealousy is a series.
yeah. Which is like a spin-off, right? That is a series.
But
Right.
really, Fourth Generation Head should not have been a one-off.
Right. It needed more, yeah.
I feel like that needed, there's about 5 volumes in there.
Yes.
Like, I have so many questions because you just throw out this name and you said he was bad, but I've never seen this guy.
Right. Just out of the blue. Like, and that was my biggest issue with that one. It was because like the bad guy, which he did do awful things, but I didn't understand what was the reason? Like, and where did it
what was the reason? What was this?
What was that reason? And even like the not Yakuza guy, I can't remember his name, but the dark-haired one.
Not Kageyama.
The story, yeah, no. The story, his backstory, like the story of like why he was he seemed to be like automatically in love with the Yakuza guy. But
yeah, because like they met when they were younger or whatever, and it's like, but we never see it. So it's like
never see, like we see it for like 2 seconds and it doesn't make any sense. Like why is he still harbor? I don't know. Maybe we're just asking for too much. I don't think so.
No, we're not. That's a genuine failure of storytelling.
Because we weren't given enough information, and then things were just like thrown. I don't know, things that happened like when Yakuza guy was basically torture raped.
Yeah,
by the bad guy, like that whole thing was
it just felt so out of nowhere because it's like I don't like the stakes were raised too high too quickly. It's like, who are you? Who are any of you people? Why do I care about any of this? Like, no, that's just a genuine failure in storytelling because she needed more than that one manga to tell that story, and that's okay. Anyone would have.
Fair.
No one could have told that story in one volume.
Right. Yeah.
Like, no mangaka that I can think of that could tell that story in one volume.
Right. Right.
I at least need 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least 3. 5 is probably would have been perfect.
I think 4 would. I would probably split the baby at 4.
Yeah.
I would probably split the baby at 4. And then we have an even number. It's easy to market. You could put it at 4 and 1 at the 20th anniversary, whatever.
Right.
But like, there was just, we needed so much more time with these characters.
Yes.
We didn't get. So it was so easy to just breeze like, oh, he's getting raped, I guess. Like,
right. Yeah. Which also, I feel like I've noticed that I think as much as I say I love anthologies and one-shots, I know a lot of people don't because of the fact that there can be issues with storytelling because it's so short and they don't have that much time. So a lot of people do kind of steer away.
I like anthologies and one-shots only because to me, again, that's about writing. So there's, I think it was oh my God. I think it was like Rico a long time ago did a series of one-shots that were Baby Bitch is the collection.
And I've heard of it, but I've not.
She's smutty.
Who's
she smutty? Oh, do you want to answer this question before I dive into that thing?
Oh, you're fine. Okay. So I have seen those, but I have not read them. I'm super Tokyo Pop is really trying to get me to support them again. Like, and I'm annoyed because, we've all been burned, but I've been curious. They're on my list.
They're not on my list.
Well, I think they're pretty. I think they're. If I remember correctly from the description, they're pretty
soft.
They seem pretty. Yeah, they seem pretty soft.
They seem soft.
Yeah,
which is okay. It's just not
right. Not that you. And I mean, I would say that to me, you seem like. It seems like if, let's say, I was to send you one,
yes.
It's not like you wouldn't read. Like you would read it.
Yeah.
You know, but like. Right, but it's not something that you would just be like, "Oh, let me."
Yeah, it's not something that I would jump to. I just and okay, but Baby Bit,
yeah.
that's a series of one shots. There's stories in there that is like you only have a few pages, but like, oh fuck, like that's not about the genre. That's about the writing.
Yeah,
that's the writers. Like I get frustrated when people say that. It's like I don't like anthologies. No, you don't like bad writing,
right? Because I like anthologies. I mean, there have been some that I've been like, but there have been plenty that I've read and I'm like, oh, I love this. And I want to, and I love it because I can reread it over and over, like much easier than I can a whole series. So I don't know. I'm a huge fan of anthologies. I mean, the BL that y'all see me like simp for the most happen to be like one shots or anthologies. So. Wait,
yeah, like there's what?
I've never seen that. What? Caramel? Caramel?
There are a couple series that I have that are like that, where it's like, I wish this was just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I wish this was just like another chapter to really put a bow on this.
Right.
I get into it okay, but just.
Yeah. It always makes me wonder though, like, because, excuse me, obviously I am not in the manga creating industry, so I don't know how all of those things work, but it seems like I always wonder if maybe a lot of mangaka, especially within the BL range, sort of feel almost robbed of their creativity, like not being able to do certain things that they might want to do.
Why?
I just wonder, like, if there are things that
hold on, at what phase?
Like once, like as they're going, like as it's being serialized in the magazine.
So typically at that stage, they're done. So serialization is not really a thing that so I think you're kind of thinking about serialization like kind of We Knew It, where like you know, a volume of something comes out and like the next week it's at Borders.
I'm thinking more of like when it's posted weekly in a magazine.
Yeah, so that's typically again a finished series or close to finished. And anything that's changed for censorship, they might consult the mangaka, but that's typically done by the licensor.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So there's been times, and I think actually Fumi Yoshinaga has mentioned it a few times, where it's like they'll read a version that he got, and it's like, oh, that's not how this went.
Right.
Because as far as she was concerned, story's done. I did it.
Right.
Now then what we got might not be the same.
Right.
Like Nakahara Kambi has said it. I'm pretty sure Yoshinaga has said it, where it's like, that's not what I wrote. But all right.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think that might be kind of what you're. Yeah. Like they're not having to actively censor. It's whoever bought the license is having to do that. So like no one's calling Fumi Yoshinaga being like, hey, can you make this less rapey? No one's doing that.
Right.
No one's doing that week to week saying, can you make. No, I haven't read Toritan.
I haven't either. I don't think. That's not the Japanese name, is it? And I'm just being. I'm gonna Google it. I have to Google it because I don't know. I'm sorry, Amanda. I have to do it. Oh, no, I haven't.
No.
Nope, I haven't. Okay, I definitely haven't read this yet. Yeah, I definitely have not. I have not. Honestly, like other than this, I haven't really read a whole lot of BL lately. Just because I've been reading I've been rereading Food Wars on the Shonen Jump app because I'm guesting on another person's podcast and we're talking about Food Wars because the manga mainly they asked me, I think because they know I like hentai and the mangaka for Food Wars is a hentai artist. Um yeah. Anyway, so I've been rereading
That
that.
might explain why I hate Food Wars so much.
Probably because that's why it's very like it is very uh etchy.
Okay. And the thing is that I don't hate that usually, but there's just something about Food Wars that upsets me so much. Oh, same person who did Honto Yaju. Perfect. You're gonna love it. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about Food Wars that like Food Wars and My Hero Academia are like the pinnacle reasons of why I don't like modern shonen. I think there's like 4 series that encapsulate why I can't stand modern shonen. It's My Hero Academia, Food Wars, Sword Art, and Attack on Titan. If you need to understand all of my hatred of modern shonen, look at any of those 4 shows. I'm not going to say that you're less of a person for liking any of them. I'm not that person.
I think,
but like every problem I have, it's like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. All of them combine into everything I hate.
Yeah.
About modern shonen and modern shonen
right.
fandom.
I can absolutely see that. Like for me, here the thing is, and I'm sure everyone has figured this out. I don't consume a lot of shonen titles. I truly don't. Like if you look at my shelves, for the longest, unless it's Clamp, I don't really own any shonen. I owned Dead Man Wonderland for a while, but I decided that I don't want to reread that because most shonen titles don't really appeal to me. Food Wars initially, because I started reading it, it's been several years ago when I first started reading it, and I used to collect it physically. I think I collected up to volume 8. And then I stopped. And it was just, I initially got into it because of the food aspect. I loved like the art, the way the food looks it just looks so good. I love that you get recipes, like you actually get legit recipes, which I'll never try, but I liked that. I thought the story itself the story itself is not necessarily unique. It's a battle of, a battle level up type of shonen, but with food. And I don't think it's like this thing that I would be like, oh my gosh, you have to read Food Wars or you have to watch it. But it's fun.
Sure.
Like it's fun. But I also, like I said, I don't like My Hero Academia, never read or watched it. Sword Art Online. I did watch that years ago when it was like, people didn't hate it. And then what was the other one? Oh, Attack on Titan. I also started watching that years ago before it started getting, losing its, I guess, favor with people. So, but other than that, like I just don't really consume a whole lot of the stuff that's aimed at young boys, just because.
That makes me sound so predatory.
Like, no,
I'm one of the gross My Hero Academia fans lurking.
Oh,
no, I'm the predatory gay that everyone was told about in the nightmares.
No, I mean, like, it just usually I'm like, meh, because the writing usually, okay, when things are written for children or with children in mind, it's like, I may or may not like this. Sometimes I do.
No, I'm going to refute that. Because there are plenty of shonen series that, like, back in the day were
that
not
good
for children and were flapped. That's again, that's modern. Modern shonen is aimed at dumb, horny children. I don't support this. Because Full Metal Alchemist gave you a whole goddamn existential lesson every episode.
True. And that's
still
one of
had
the few
tits.
shonen that I have.
Still had tits, still had ass, still had gay queer baiting, still had all of it, hit all the major shonen tropes. And like you could feasibly learn something. It might not be good, but you could learn something. Like, no, don't shonen used to be good.
I mean,
it's bad now. Well,
that's objective because it depends on who you ask.
Those people are dumb.
Oh my god, I hate you.
Why? Those people are stupid. Oh my god, there was one like the philosophy of One Piece. What the fuck? There's no philosophy in One Piece. They're two sick pirates.
Maybe someone could get something out of it.
No. Who? Invite me?
I mean, not me necessarily, but there's people.
Who?
There's people.
Step up.
I guess like one reason why I am very much like, oh, well, about that, because a lot of people say, like, I love romance manga, and a lot of people like to make similar arguments about like all romance manga. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make the same argument about all shonen battle manga, because even if I don't like it, I mean, I'm sure somebody could get something out of it. So somebody can get something out of it, okay?
Okay. If that's the hill you want to die on, I can't tell you no.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Somebody will. Black Butler.
Problematic, but I like it.
Yeah, I watched the anime. Well, did I watch? How many seasons of the anime are out? Just
4.
Is it 4? Because I want to say that I watched the first 2 seasons.
Okay, hold on. There's, I think, 2 of Book of Circus. There's the second season that no one talks about because it doesn't have CL in it. And then there's the first season. So there's technically 3 main story.
Okay.
And then there's one that no one likes to talk about because it doesn't have CL.
I don't think I watched the one that doesn't have CL.
So then you probably watched the first 3, which I think there's like 2 Book of Circus and then there's main story.
Okay. Yeah. And it's been a little bit, so I don't remember details, but I remember enjoying it. I think maybe if I watched it now, I might see like the problematic aspects of it or whatever. But at the time,
I always saw the problematic aspects. It's pretty.
Maybe I did and just don't remember. I mean, it's been years. Like it's been so many years.
Yeah, but no one talks about the movie because the movie is just a long episode. The movie is just.
I never saw.
The movie is just a very long episode. They're on They're on a boat for some fucking reason. Like, okay, Amanda rant time. I am okay with historical anachronisms to an extent. But Black Butler had a historical anachronism so bad that I like stopped it during an anime club meeting. And that is when Sebastian stops a car in Victorian England that has a field phone, which was used during the Civil War in America. And it was so bad, you could like hear my brain do like the record scratch. And it's like, this man is in a car. It's not a carriage. It's a car. It's like an old timey car, but it's a car. And it has a phone inside the car. Where is this time traveling car coming from?
Was this in the movie?
No, this was like season 1.
I need to rewatch it because I don't remember that.
I was livid. I was so upset because you know what? I love movies that have historical anachronisms. I'm usually okay with them. Django Unchained is full of them.
I have not watched that.
But I don't know what it was. Maybe because I like Black Butler so much. I was livid at the car with the field phone. I was so upset.
That's so funny.
I was heated. Like the most heated I had ever been. over the goddamn car with a phone in it.
That is hilarious. I'm trying to like rack my brain. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to rewatch it because
I think it was like early season 1. It was like early season 1 because we were watching it for the anime club, and we had to like pause the episode because I'm like, okay, kids,
this is not.
Senpai's upset.
Oh my god.
Also, not BL, but 91 Days also had a bunch of historical anachronisms. That like it was so bad that I stopped watching the anime. Like it was so historically anachronistic that I'm like, I can't finish this series. Like this is bad.
I think one thing I do enjoy about doing this with you is realizing how two people can consume the same like or similar media in such different ways. Like it's, which I already knew that. I mean, obviously, but just seeing it and like really.
Thank you, Micah. Okay, it wasn't a fever dream. There was a car, and there was a phone in the car because Sebastian like receives a call from CL in the car. Like he's standing in the car. It's like some fucking like it's like a Wile E. Coyote shit where he's about to like push the car off the cliff, and he like takes a call from CL in the fucking car, and then he's like, and then the car, you just throw the one car.
That is so. How do
in the 1800s?
How do I not remember this?
Because here's the thing. Anachronisms are fine if you don't tell us every episode when this is set. If they had done Naruto shit where we don't know when this is set,
and it just had an aesthetic,
whatever, that's fine. But they are ramming down your throat harder than Lau wants to fuck CL. That this is Victorian England, down to the medal CL gets from Queen Victoria, down to the dress, down to the manners, down to everything. And they're going to throw in a car and a field phone.
Right. Yeah, that's. I still like. I'm sure that. I'm so shocked that I don't remember. But again, like I said, it's been years, so I'm going to be fair to myself. But that's
like my anger has kept vivid because I was mad. Devil's Run, no, I've not seen it.
I have not. I have been curious about it though because two people that also have like tastes that I trust, like. Have mentioned it to me.
My brain just stopped at like taste. Like people have taste. Like, oh, well then.
No, because I'm thinking like, because I feel like with you, Amanda, you have. I feel like usually whenever you suggest things to me, I'm pretty sure that I'll at least not hate it. You know what I mean? Like I would trust you, and so I also trust them.
I'm going to go ahead and push back on this comment. I don't think you need to know anything about history to know that if you're going to say Victorian England in the 1800s, that cars didn't fucking exist. Like, I know our education system is shitty, but it's not that shitty. You understand the basic progression of human time. That's like saying the dinosaurs were killed by a space shuttle. Like, I know our educational system is shitty, but it ain't that shitty. You do not need to have been an AP US history student like I was to know that that doesn't mesh.
There we go.
Ma'am. Just fingering the camera up there.
It's like, hey, hello. No, I feel like more than likely, if I'm thinking about this, I probably noticed it and then just rolled my eyes and was like, well, it's anime, and then kept going.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know why that bothered me so much. I don't know why. Because, like, there's a lot of things in Black Butler that, because I used to cosplay as Sebastian. I like this series a lot. I used to roleplay as Sebastian. I like that show. I can tell you a lot about that show. I can tell you a lot about all the characters.
Right.
I don't know why that's the... And there's anachronisms everywhere in Black Butler. I don't know why. That's the one. That's like, fuck you. It's just that one. That one is the fuck you. On a side note, have either of you considered buying a BL or any manga in Japanese? No.
Nope.
because I can't enjoy it.
Right. Yeah, I can't read it.
I can't enjoy it.
I have purchased I have the what do I have? Where are they?
What do I have? Where is it?
Where did I moved things around. Anyway, I have volumes, I think 4, 5, and 6, I think, of Twittering Birds Never Fly
in Spanish. But you can read Spanish.
But I can read Spanish. So I would definitely, I'm sorry, I'm out of focus again. I would definitely purchase in another language, just not in Japanese, because I would
receive it as a gift. Like, I would never turn it down, but like, spend my money? No. I can't ingest it.
Yeah, but I do understand why I do kind of understand though why some people do that, just because they're like, they really want to. Okay, I'll say this. People that I've seen do the buying in Japanese are usually also people that I've talked to who have perhaps read this series in not as legal ways, and so it's kind of their way of giving back, which I get that. Like, I totally get that. I mean, we already know I don't do that, but I get that. And so
I love that you have to preface. Aisha, can I actually this person when it comes to history?
Which one?
The one saying, well, technically. Okay, I'm gonna
guess if you want to.
I do. Okay, so here's the thing. While you are not technically incorrect, one, Victorian England far from had the infrastructure or ability to have a car of that design. Two, even if you're going to say it's steam powered, it wouldn't have been able to run a phone. Three, connect the phone to what? Four, it doesn't matter that combustion engines existed. What is it driving on? Why aren't there more if that's the case? Five, sure, things like that did exist. Horseless carriages existed. But as of the time period they're mentioning, and per the section of England that they're in, and per the rest of the series, that is not a thing that is canonically available or abundant. So even if it technically did exist, it's not something that canonically or historically makes sense.
Do you want to do the history lessons for my kids? Because for your honorary nephews.
Sure. It's really, really shitty, and I'd make it gay.
That's fine. I make everything gay in this house. Like, why do you think my oldest told me that my haircut looks like a lesbian haircut?
I mean, it is, but
it is. But the fact that he clocked it.
Sorry. I love and hate the actually, because it's like, here's the thing. You're not technically wrong. However,
that's also fair.
Like, cool, but that didn't exist in England the way it did in the US. Like, fun, awesome, you're not wrong, but it's still anachronistic.
Fair. I know nothing about cars.
So we actually did get a question like, where were some of the ships that we grew up with? You can actually listen to a whole bunch of things about Coolio. That sounds racist. I'm kidding. At first I thought your hair was Coolio, and I immediately thought like the rapper. Like,
like the rapper? I mean,
I'm kidding. But some ships that we grew up with. So you get to hear about our modern ships in episode 6. As far as ships that we grew up with, I don't know if mine change that much or would be that surprising. Because I pretty much shipped back then what everyone shipped, like your big ships back then. So like I did Sasunaru, I did Kakashi and Aruka, even though they never spoke to each other. They didn't talk to each other. Did a lot of Kurofai, Kurogane, and Phi back in the day. I did a decent amount of L and Light in Death Note until I found Matt and Mello, and then it's like, cool, let's just have this relationship but not as abusive. But like, yeah, like there were the ships that I liked back in the day are probably like not shocking in any way. There is an interesting phenomenon that I have had though, where like I'm seeing stuff of things that I grew up with that are lewd that I have a hard time processing. Like like some of like the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff that people have made gay, like that's a whole thing. And
Interesting.
Yu-Gi-Oh was like a formative series to me, so it's like, yeah, I had like ships for that, but I never like one looted it, and I never really made it gay. So it's like that's weird to think of Kaiba and Yugi, but all right, sure. Like,
sorry,
it's fine.
there we go.
It's fine.
I guess for me, well, for one, I didn't grow up with like any anime manga ships because like when I was growing up, there the access to anime and manga, at least for me specifically where I grew up, it was non-existent. And I didn't really, I wasn't shipping, but ships that I had, I guess, come into as I started watching, as I was older, because I really fell into manga and anime heavy when I was already an adult, like 2021, something like that, 2021. So for me, like, if we're talking gay ships, I always shipped Ichigo and the what's his name?
Uryu.
Yes, with the
Uryu and Cheetah.
Yes, I always shipped those two.
Okay.
I also liked what's his name? Chad. I like they actually, I guess that would be like an OT3 because I always liked the three of them. Like, so yeah, I was like, I like these. And look at me, let's OT3. Hey, I learned. But yeah, no, I liked that. And so that would have been what 2006 or so. I do. Okay. I could see it. I can see it. I could definitely see it. Honestly, I can see Ichigo with all the male characters and none of the female characters, except for maybe Rukia. But I honestly shipped her with me because
you wanted her.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we got what you meant. We were on the same page. We were on the same page.
Shipping is a universal language. We understood you.
Yeah. Yeah, we got it.
You know what? For Bleach, I didn't get gay until very, very late, but Ukitake and Kyoraku are obviously married and gay. And
yes,
honestly, Aizen and Ichimaru.
Yes.
I got too excited. Yes.
Oh, I can. Ooh, to be a fly on the wall.
I like Zyle Apodogrons with anyone because he just seems like he's a dick pig.
Right. I mean, I feel like all of the men in Bleach.
All of the men act all of the men. Just have fun.
They all have like.
Just have a good time.
They all have. Yeah, they all have potential to have great chemistry.
Yeah.
The women, Yoruichi though. Okay.
See, the women, I don't hate a lot of the women in Bleach. I just think that the men don't deserve them.
Fair.
Because they're usually trash.
Fair. I mean, yeah. Fair.
Like,
I can see that.
Like, Giku was the queen, and I love her. Like,
Ooh, why is this making me want to rewatch Bleach?
So actually, I had a Bleach cosplay on the 2020 cosplan.
Oh man,
I had a Bleach cosplay on this cosplan for this year.
I am seriously like, am I going to? Do I really need to put? I don't know, but I kind of
have no curiosity about who this would have been. I love that you have zero curiosity.
Well, part of me is curious, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to ask because I didn't know if you were going to say because you're all secretive.
No, I'm not that secretive.
I feel like
it's fun because it outed me as a tsundere.
I feel like it would be someone that. Oh wait, no. Okay, I want you to say who it is.
No, I want you to guess. You were having fun.
Okay, were you? My first thought was that it would be someone obscure in the show, but was it going to be what's his face, red-haired guy? What is his
Renji?
name? Zanbad, huh?
Renji?
Is his name Renji?
Yeah, because Zabimaru
Yeah.
is on Pakuto.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Why do you think
Yes.
I cosplay as someone useless? I'm a little offended. Yeah, I'm now I'm upset. You
Because
guessed.
he
That
looks
was
cool. That's
no, because the last thing I, as a black person, need to do is dress as something tribal.
oh yeah, I guess. I mean, I didn't view him
I would
that
look like a
way.
Black Panther extra. The optics. The optics, ma'am. The optics.
Okay. Someone said Ishida.
So you're actually not far. Good guess. I
I
really
say
want to,
someone like I can't see Micah's name right there. I don't
like,
know.
I really want to do a Shinji Hirako, one of the Vizards.
Oh, okay. So it is someone that's
Would
not
you
like
call it obscure? I mean,
not
the
obscure,
Vizards take up a huge amount
not
of space.
not obscure, but like not one of the
Well, yeah, he's not main cast.
popular. Yeah.
Popular.
So
Rude and hateful.
I mean,
Rude and hateful.
how often do you hear people talking about him?
Not enough. He deserves to be
Right.
talked about. He's doing great.
So that's yeah. I mean,
He's doing
I
his
knew
fucking best with all the useless people surrounding him.
I knew it was gonna be
I
someone
really
that.
mostly wanted to make his Zanpakuto Sakanade.
Mhm.
It's a sword that spins. I really just wanted to make a sword on a spinning hilt.
It's because it sounds like a. Mm-hmm.
I really just wanted to make a sword on a spinning hilt.
Mm-hmm. I know exactly because you wanted. Where's the? You know exactly what I'm doing.
Yes.
You know exactly what I'm.
I just wanted to make Sakanade.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna make Sakanade. Like I need to do the rest of the outfit. So.
Oh my goodness.
It actually doesn't do that in the series.
I mean, but still, like
and I would still probably wire it to be as minimal with hand gestures as possible because I don't want to be walking through a con doing that because that's how you get assaulted in an elevator.
But the fact that you know exactly, like I already know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I could hear the noise too.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're not wrong, but also like that's not what I was going to do. But I really wanted to make Sakanade, so I was probably going to do Shinji Hirako. He's also just great, and like he's doing his best.
I mean, yeah.
He's
really. Oops, sorry. This really makes me want to. This is like driving me. This one is driving me nuts. Look at that.
You poor thing. Look at what you're going through.
But look how cool my shaved side looks, though.
It does look cool.
Right? I love it. I'm like obsessed. I'm obsessed with it.
I can tell.
Absolutely. Like also, it honestly, low key, I really considered just taking all of it off and just rocking just a low cut. But people have talked me out of it.
But you have the head shape for it.
See, don't encourage me.
You do.
Don't encourage me because listen.
You have the head shape for it. That's why I won't do it because I don't have the head shape for it.
Like,
can you imagine? My face is way too fat and round.
I also considered maybe cutting the other side.
No, don't do that.
And maybe a little bit of the back.
No. You're not an inner city youth in an American comic book.
You know what's funny? My youngest brother, that's exactly how his hair is. It's cut sides and back.
You're not on a call sheet for black inner city extra. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's have a little dignity, please.
My Animal Crossing character has that haircut, and every time I look at her, I'm just like, but I want my hair like that. I'm not gonna do it, and I'm gonna let the rest of it grow, but keep my shaved side as a compromise since nobody wants me to.
I didn't say that I don't want you to. I just don't want you to look like every black character in the background of like a splash page. Like there's your black
for real, or like honestly, anytime there's a black character, almost anytime there's a black character in a shonen series,
right? Oh my god, there was I was going through a rewatch of ER, which is definitely not Boys Love, and there are 3 black doctors. 2 of them have like very similar sounding names, and all of them die. Like,
I mean,
one season, and it's like you could say this is the same character, and except for the death, I'd be like, sure.
Right.
I'd be like, yeah, same guy. Because there's Dr. Gallant, there's Dr. Grant, and Dr. Pratt.
Right.
All of them die horribly,
Oh, no.
by the way.
Huh.
One of them kills themselves because one of his mentors was mean to him. He jumps into a train because one of the other doctors on the show is mean to him. One was killed in combat in Iraq, and one gets blown up in a booby-trapped bus. All of them die.
Does anyone else die in such ways?
In ER?
Yeah. Like, other than
okay, can I tell you about the pettiest thing I've seen a writer do? Because we're going to talk about ER for a minute. So
Okay.
ER has this character named Dr. Robert Romano, and he's the antagonist. No one likes him. He's openly homophobic and sexist. No one likes him. Brilliant surgeon. No one likes him.
Right.
So the first episode of season 9, he's being a dick because he is. And a helicopter cuts off his arm. It's graphic and violent.
Wait, this was an ER?
Yes,
in ER the show?
Yes.
With George Clooney. Well,
Yes.
It used to be George Clooney.
Yes. No, it gets better. It gets better. Cuts off his arm. It's horrible. So surgeon loses an arm. It is not the end for him. He gets a robot arm, or he just says, fuck it, I'm not going to have an arm for a while. Season, I think it's like 10 or 11. Oh my God. He has to go up to the roof to like take a patient something. And it's like, that's where he had his accents, where he had his trauma. And it was like really, really big. No, Aisha, you are not ready for where this goes.
Okay.
I guarantee you're not ready. And so he has like the whole moment where like he goes through his trauma, and it's like, okay, whatever. Like he's scared, he's having his little like panic attack moment in the elevator, and he goes downstairs and he, runs outside, because that's what you do when you have trauma, is you go outside. I don't know why everyone fucking goes outside. I've never during a panic attack had to go outside, but he goes outside and he's standing there. They pan up to the roof, and there's a strong gust of wind, and it knocks the helicopter off of its axis, and the helicopter, in a flaming fireball, crashes on top of Rocket Romano and kills him. He dies under the smoldering wreckage of a helicopter. And posthumously after his death, in which no one visits his funeral, there's a memorial service for him at the hospital. No one goes. They steal his food, but no one goes. So after he dies, a portion of his estate is left to the hospital, and his rival in the show, who got the job he wanted, who still has her arms and everything, gets to name a wing of the hospital after him. So what does she do? Dr. Carrie Weaver, who is a boss, names it the Robert Romano Center for Gay, Lesbian, and Transgender Youths. This was like a 10-year arc that culminated in the Dr. Robert Romano Center for Gay, Lesbian, Bisexual, and Transgender Youths.
Okay, that is really, truly...
That is the pettiest thing, because they couldn't get rid of that character. I don't know why. I don't know why it took them 10 fucking years to get rid of Robert Romano. He never belonged in that show. But when they did, and here's what's best. When he's going up the elevator, do you know what song is playing when he's going up the elevator to see the helicopter? Free Fallin'. It's like a Muzak version, and I'm free falling. And then he goes downstairs and is crushed by a flaming helicopter.
Like, you kind of have to stand. Like,
right, like you have to stand.
You have to stand. Like, that is
stand. How can you look at that and be like, this is bad? This is amazing.
That is Okay, like
yes.
I thought that because I used to be a huge fan of One Tree Hill. I thought
But
that
that was the pettiest show.
that was like because
No.
you know what I'm talking about, right? With what's his face's dad who is supposed to get a heart transplant, but then the heart gets dropped and a dog eats it, and he's saying
yes,
so good.
Is pettiest
that
show
is the pettiest
I have ever seen.
Wow. Also, the fact that it has so many seasons,
15.
That's wild to me because, like, I mean, I mentioned George Clooney. That shows you how long ago it's been. That shows you how long it's been. Like,
I love how everyone was here for ER chat. Like, I love how like that brought the group together.
Well, because that story was so like I didn't know where you were going with that. Like, I thought I did, but
and I remember watching that episode like live when it happened because it was before my dad had died. So that should tell you how long ago it was.
Right.
I remember seeing the episode when Dr. Amano loses his arm. And it's honestly one of the most graphic things I remember seeing on television. Because they like slow-mo John Woo it and it slices his arm and it spurts and his arm like flies across. And this is like primetime television. This is ER.
Right.
This is like the 8 to 7 central time slot, I think.
Yeah. So
I remember watching the show as a kid, and it's like, oh fuck, like his arm is gone. And like everyone is just standing there like, oh fuck. And like, we gotta save him.
What do we do? Yeah.
And they like grab his arm and it's just like he's going into shock. And it's like,
that's actually like a huge fear. I've never been on a helicopter or near one, and I will not because anyway, the point is I don't want to get my arms chopped off.
Well, and like it's his fault because he loses a clipboard and he goes to pick it up and he gets up too fast, like shake it.
That is even worse. Can you imagine? Can you imagine standing up and not thinking, and then all of a sudden your arm is gone?
Freak accidents. Like the wind, like when he dies, the wind blows and it's really dramatic because the helicopter tips on its side. It loses all of its blades because it's hitting the tarmac. One of them kills a nurse because it like flings some shrapnel into her back. And then it explodes midair, fucks up a bunch of patients on the ICU. And then the flaming wreckage falls on Robert Romano in the ambulance bay.
I kind of want to watch that just to watch.
The episode where he dies is Free Fallen. I think it's like season 10 or 11. And the episode where he loses his arm is season 9, episode 1, Chaos Theory.
It really stuck with you. The fact that you can, that really, that was like some
episode 1, Chaos Theory. Because it's the season 9 season premiere. Because season 8, the finale was these two kids had smallpox because their parents were anti-vaxxers. Cough. The parents went to Africa and they're anti-vaxxers and their kids came back to America and had smallpox and they died. And they had to like shut down the hospital and say, hey, everyone, let's do something for the greater good. And it turned into like Lord of the Flies where people were trying to escape the hospital because apparently even back then we were more concerned about civil liberties than the greater good.
But for real though,
we needed some helicopter safety because like those helicopters were just, I don't know, man, those helicopters just like 2 separate helicopters years apart, just fuck.
Oh my gosh.
During the interlude where Robert Romano didn't have a hand, he had a robot arm that like connected to his brain and he was using it to sexually harass nurses.
Are you kidding me?
No, like I can't control it, and he'd like touch a butt. And the nurses stole his arm. And they're like, you'll get this back when you know how to use it.
I mean, you know what? That's what he gets.
like I would never advocate for stealing an amputee's prosthesis. But like,
I mean, if you're a bad person, I would. Don't try me.
One of the nurses pinned him down and took his arm.
But here's the thing though. Like an injury or whatever. Things like that it doesn't excuse bad behavior. So I'm gonna snatch your hand if you're on. I'm gonna snatch it.
No, he was scaring kids with his claw because he got a claw for a little bit. He would scare children with his claw.
I don't like that either. I'm gonna snatch your whole arm. Watch. I'm gonna snatch it.
Hit his arm. And it was like
scaring people. See, that's just bad behavior.
ER is the best show that has ever existed. John Stamos was on it.
Oh, yeah, I do remember. I remember he was on it.
I don't know why the fuck John Stamos was there, but John Stamos was there. Like old George Clooney, who just did not belong on that. Like he is too hot for a hospital.
I was gonna say
Like, even from then, because this is like this is like mid late 90s. Even back then, he did not belong in that. Because like every other doctor's hot, but like hospital hot. Like, okay, you're attractive, I sleep with you, but like you're still like a real human person. George Clooney did not belong. And Juliana Margulies, the Carol Hathaway with the curly hair, the white lady.
Yeah.
She didn't belong there either. Like those were the two that are like, what are you doing here? And the two that made it out and like are doing things. But like
because also, people who look like them are not, they're doing
also Mariska Hargitay is there, who is Olivia Benson. Mariska Hargitay.
Oh, you're so good at names. I'm like bad at names, but yeah.
Yeah. So early Olivia Benson, Mariska Hargitay, she's in like 2 seasons as a ditzy receptionist.
My bad.
What the fuck? She's playing a ditzy receptionist? What year is this? It's Mariska Hargitay, who plays the most badass woman in TV. And here she is playing a ditzy receptionist on ER?
I feel like ER was like a show where a lot of actors not got their start, but like it was kind of
Mekhi Phifer was there?
Yes, Mekhi Phifer. Listen, I was so in love with him.
He was one of the black doctors that died.
See, I must not have watched all that season.
Yeah, he was one of the black doctors that died.
No, not Mekhi.
The one that died in the flaming bus. I'm sorry.
That's upsetting. Of course.
It is.
You know what? Oh, you know, well, that I'm. Oh wait. So what? Hold on.
Oh snap!
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Your parents never let you watch a show. I mean,
real talk. All 15 seasons are on Hulu. Hashtag not sponsored. You can binge ER and report back. I've written like 3 blog posts about it. I'm obsessed. I have 1 more episode before I'm done with the series.
Oh wow.
I'm afraid to watch it. I feel like I'm losing a part of myself. Like I'm saying goodbye to an old friend.
Oh wow.
I have 1 more episode before I have watched the entire series of ER. And it gets even more petty than Dr. Romano losing his life to a helicopter.
I mean, when you have such a long-running show, it's kind of like, you know what, we're going to do what we want. I mean, why not?
A patient steals a tank and threatens one of the doctors because they didn't believe his pain. And he drives the tank like up to the hospital.
Oh, a tank. Like a tank.
Like a tank.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, he gets super murdered because you can't drive a tank in Chicago.
That makes me think. I used to watch soap operas back in the day, like General Hospital and All My Children. And what else was it? That just makes me think of all of the. Yep. See, it sounds like a soap opera.
It's a medical drama for a reason. And I think so. I'm a connoisseur of medical dramas, as I'm sure by now you can tell. I think ER for me is perfect. It's the perfect balance of drama and medicine. I think House is all medicine. I think Grey's Anatomy is all drama. I think ER is the perfect center.
I watched a little of all of those, and
I think House sometimes is way too clinical. I like it because I'm a bit of a sociopath. Grey's is way too dramatic. Grey's is just, I mean, the characterization's good, the writing is good, but I like medicine in my medical dramas, and there's not enough medicine in it for me. It's good, not enough medicine. I think ER is right in that center of like, oh man, this is like a gut punch of emotion, but also like here's some people saving lives.
Right. Ooh, you know what would be awesome? A medical drama BL or Yaoi.
There's a couple nurse series that oh god, what is her name? I've mentioned her before. Lily Hoshino has done. But like no one's really done like the doctoring very seriously. Also, it's boys' love, so I feel like how serious can you take the doctoring? Like, it's going to be about butts, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, how seriously can you take the medicine?
Right.
Yeah, House is very much like there was one episode of House where I solved the medical mystery before he did, and I felt like a fucking genius. It's like, is this what white people feel all the time? Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
There we go. We did it.
Oh, wait, is that for real?
No.
Oh.
Is it? Grey's Anatomy? Is it?
Is it?
Oh, God.
Bye, Rachel. Actually, we're probably going to be heading out soon, too.
Yeah, you're the one who set a time limit and then ignored it.
Yeah, and then I ignored it.
That's why you saw me be hella shady. I was like, okay, miss. Because you're the one who's like, we're going to keep it slow this time. We're not going to do it. And like, fucking 2 hours later.
But the conversation, it got so good.
Fucking it was so 2 hours later. No, we're going to keep this one down to like an hour. I need to rest. Oh my God, it is. Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, it is? Oh, you were serious. Oh my gosh.
It doesn't look good.
I'm going to read it though.
Look good at all.
I'm going to read it.
It doesn't look good. I don't like it.
No. I'll read it and I will
But
read
I do like this artist.
Is it, hold on. Well, I say I'll read it, but before I say that, is it,
I feel like I read this 1,000 years ago. I feel like I've read this. Books you may also like. The weird Twilight prequel that I don't care about. Why do you think I like Twilight?
Huh?
Amazon is like books you may also like.
Oh, I was like, who thought that?
Right.
Okay.
Like, how would you think I like that?
I think I'm gonna buy this.
It's
just
$22.
Yeah, but I'm very curious.
It's $23.
Yeah, it's probably an older.
It is. It's really old. 2009.
I'm sure I could find it.
If you guys want to send us a copy of Grey's Anatomy, send it to Aisha.
I'm gonna look around because there's other places rather than Amazon that I could possibly. No, other thrift place. Which I mean, buying it
thrifted. It's the same as piracy at that point.
What's the difference? TV.
Torrent it. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, that is absolutely.
Yeah,
that's fair. Once you get to the point where if I have to buy it used,
you have to buy it like 3rd degree used on Amazon.
Yeah, then
no that is making money anymore.
Right. That is very fair. But this, I want to read this.
Here's Amanda over here screaming about communism and piracy. Good Lord.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this.
So I have 2 shirts that I have to design. I have to design a jump cut. Smash Privates. Dylan requested that, and now I have to do Amanda's communism corner. I'm over here advocating for piracy and communism.
I mean, in this sense, I will
allow it.
Not say that I disagree,
because no one's getting money at that point.
Yeah, like
it's not in print on Amazon.
Right.
To buy it like tertiary.
Right. Yeah, because if I happen to find it, it's not even it's not being published. So yeah, I guess why would I?
Right. Yeah. No one's making money on this. Oh, I'm sorry that you have a seizure disorder and lupus. My grandmother had lupus.
Doctors. I'm not a fan of doctors. I mean, I'm technically married to. I'm married to a form of a doctor. It's a form of one. He's a pharmacist.
It's not the same thing.
It's a I say a form.
It's not the same thing.
No, well, I say that's why I say a form because he technically because you can't because of his degree technically not even technically doctor could go by doctor such and such and such because of his degree, but he's not a medical doctor. He's not a surgeon. He's a
Could he save my life? If I needed an emergency tracheotomy because my EpiPen failed.
Yeah, I think, well.
Go ask him.
I'm curious. He might.
Because I know how to do an emergency trach.
I'm gonna see if I can get him to come in here. He might not.
Are you gonna summon him?
Yes. Why did I describe him like a level of
right? Like he's like some form of adult. He's not. He's
restraint level.
He's not. Like that's okay. I mean, he's
that's actually.
I'm glad he's been seizure free for a year. That's good.
Yes. We'll see if he. I don't think he will.
God damn it!
He's been.
No, he owes me for sneezing on camera like he did.
I mean,
tell him he owes me.
He's been annoyed with me lately, just because.
Just lately.
Well, because I will be honest. Like I have been doing a lot of internet socializing. And a lot.
I told you.
And so he's like, he wouldn't care, but like whenever I'm doing this, I'm always like asking him for things, and he's just like, he's at his point where he's just like, okay, now I'm not your servant, ma'am. So he may not. I don't think he will, because if he's not in here already, he ain't gonna come. I feel like he also doesn't trust me. Like he knows I'm up to something. He could also be watching right now.
That would be very scary.
And he knows exactly what I'm going to do.
Fine.
But I'll ask him and I'll text you about it.
But, yeah. Okay, Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, we'll torrent it, I guess.
I want to look at it. I think that'd be really funny. Also.
Yes.
Yes. Remind me, what was the assignment you gave me? The one
I gave you Lies or a Gentleman's Manners weeks ago.
Yeah, because I think I want to read that one before the next live so we can talk about it. Because I really enjoy talking about series in the live.
I do too. Before we wrap up, though, we did technically do this as a cool down for episode 6.
Oh, yeah.
Which we have not talked about at all in 2 hours.
No, we haven't.
So for the next few minutes.
Yeah, we kind of talked about ships.
Yeah, but we didn't answer. Ma'am. We literally spent 15 minutes talking about ER, which I'm not mad about. But if you have listened to episode 6 and have any questions, comments, or concerns, we will briefly be willing to address them, as we've already extended this live session beyond the original means that Aisha had selected. Because she's a dirty liar.
No, because y'all were just engaging, okay? And I just didn't. I was like, no, I'm enjoying this. We're all enjoying. I didn't have the heart. I was like, well, we'll just keep going.
Goddamn liar.
Just keep going. So yeah, if you have any questions about episode 6, which we talked about
shipping,
and we shared some of our ships.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun episode. I think I also revealed things about myself, like that sometimes I may or may not ship real people, not publicly, but in my head.
I just said it, so it's public now.
Well, yeah. I won't say names or anything.
I'm kidding. I won't.
But
you know, it's so weird because I was watching one of those shows and that's all I can think of now, and it's very upsetting. Because I watch a lot of those shows that I will not mention because I'm not going to show you publicly here, but it's like, oh fuck, Aisha thinks they kiss.
But I mean, but you can see it, right?
No, I can't. It's also distracting because that's also very our dynamic.
Am I? Oh,
yes.
I'm. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird now. It's also very our dynamic. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's really fucking weird.
I mean, I don't care. I don't mind.
I know. I'm just like, God damn it.
It doesn't bother me. I'm over here like, okay, ship away.
Please don't ship us.
You can. It's fine.
No.
I'm not bothered by it.
I am. I'm bothered by it.
Is it weird and offensive if the person is neither weirded out nor offended?
Half of it is. I do not consent. I do not consent to this.
People are gonna start send us fan fiction.
I would actually vomit. I would cry and vomit.
I would scream. I would scream. Oh my gosh.
For an uke that likes to tease. A bitch is what you call it. A bitch.
You said that so strongly. Who was that aimed at?
Just in a general direction.
That happens to be mine.
Happens to be right in front of me.
Listen, if someone writes fan fiction
behavior,
I will read it. I will read it live, and Amanda will have to sit here and listen to it.
You're holding me hostage. Why? Can I just have my rose gold humidifier and just like live in peace?
Someone please.
Please do it. You are legally married to another human being.
Do it. He'd get a kick out of it too. We would.
Oh God! Don't encourage this.
Do it. Someone do
I'm
it.
a real human being. Oh my God!
Go ahead and do it. It's fine.
Don't listen. Are you not worried about my consent or comfort?
No.
Excuse you. Excuse you. Don't ship real people. Oh my
God. Okay. Don't actually do it.
Why would I defile my humidifier? Why would I do that? Why would I defile it? I mean, thank you for putting me as seme to an inanimate object. I would be more concerned if I wasn't seme to an inanimate object. But it's very beautiful. I don't think I want to defile the rose gold humidifier. Not yet, at least.
I got hot. That was so funny. Oh, I laughed so hard.
Oh my God, you're gross. Actually, I bought a fanzine for one of the ships I mentioned that actually should be coming in the mail soon.
Oh, fun!
Yeah,
you should show us that.
I will.
I will. That'll be really fun. Yeah. I mean, also, if anyone wants to write that thing, send it to us before the next live. And we will read it.
I would accept like other fan stuff of us. Like I would accept like fan art and stuff.
Now,
okay. There was a Korean manhwa where a guy buys an air conditioner that's actually just a hot dude. Yeah.
I mean, I'm into robot stuff.
The ethics and the just way things work confuse me about robots. Because remember, I'm someone who gets hung up on details.
Yeah.
So it's like, how does it and why would it and like can it? So I was a guest for the ethics bowl at my local at my alma mater. And one of the ethical arguments was about like AI and consent. And that's actually like something that if I went back and got my master's, I would 100% study. Because like if you program something to not consent, is that rape?
You program it to not consent?
Right.
It's like, so they specifically were like, I want this.
Yeah, like I want this thing
AI to not consent.
So it's still going through all the motions of not consenting. But technically, if it's AI, it's a learning algorithm. So it's still not consenting, but you've asked for it not to consent. I want to be a lawyer for sex robots. I want to be an advocate for sex robots.
Okay.
Yes.
We have. We have a whole episode about our Fumi Yoshinaga standing, but when you mentioned Fumi Yoshinaga, it made me think of one of her anthologies. Now I can't remember what it's called. Which one is it? It might be Don't Say Anything, Darling. It might be that one, but there's one where she has a story centered around basically AI characters. And
not
it's
Chobits, but accurate.
not, yeah, no, Chobits,
but not false.
Ugh. Let me see. Hold on. Y'all can't see anything.
There's nothing to see.
I mean, just in case. I don't want to embarrass myself on the internet. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yes, it is this, but which story is it? Hold on. Let's see. It's this. Yeah. Okay. So it's called My Eternal Sweetheart. And like I'm reading it and woo, when I tell you it fucked me up, I was like, what did I just read? So I'm not gonna, it's really hard to, basically there's a young boy who has an illness that prevents him from going outside, and he lives in this huge mansion with a servant, and his brother is living in like kind of separately, and they communicate through like a monitor or whatever, because supposedly this boy can't be around other people or he'll get sick and die. So, but he's like getting older, and he has like urges, and so the brother is the creator of these AI, so he makes an AI for the younger brother to have sex with, and it's like it's a lot, and all these things happen. By the end of it, you find out the truth about the little brother, and it's wild. It's a wild story, but it definitely did make me think about like AI and like what is, like you're talking about like what's ethical, and because I felt, I don't know, like I'm like usually into AI stuff, but that it just was very like
that's something that got me thinking. And like I would 100% be like an advocate for sex robots. Like that's the thing that I would do. Like that's one of the reasons I don't want to get my master's, because if I got my master's, I would specialize in the dumbest thing and I'd never be employable.
Oh, hey, come here. You don't have to say that for the camera. Just come here. I have a question for you. So come here. Come closer. You have to come closer so that you can be heard. So if Amanda were to go into, I'm bad at pronouncing that word, anaphylactic shock, could you save her? With a tracheotomy?
I mean, maybe.
Maybe?
No, I don't know.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse.
He said no.
Okay.
He said maybe.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna have anything. I'm gonna stab her in the throat with a pin.
He said, what am I gonna do? Stab her in the throat with a pin?
Yeah, that's what people would do in that instance. You sterilize the pin and you put in a breathing straw.
And you just go ploop.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I couldn't do it. I would accidentally
carry an EpiPen, so you don't have to.
Yeah, that is.
You said stab me in the thigh.
But even like when I've seen like people use, like not people in real life use them, but when I've seen them being used, just the stabbing, I don't like it.
Okay, so good to know that I can't ever go into anaphylactic shock around Aisha, because Aisha will let me die.
I will absolutely panic.
Aisha is not my dedicated stabber.
There is a reason why I did not go into the medical field. Period.
Aisha, what if I needed it? You just need to stab me in the thigh. That's like life and death.
Okay, if it were that, if it got to that, then I had to.
That's the only reason I would need it. What do you mean if it got to that? What do you mean if it got to that? That's the only reason I would need it. Is if it were life and death. There's no casual EpiPen. There's no EpiPen for fun. Ma'am.
Stab.
In the thigh. Did we like Gerard and Jacques? I liked it more than Aisha did.
Yeah.
Aisha did not like it.
It is not my favorite.
I liked it. Listen to our Fumio Shinaga episode to find out why.
Yes. Yeah, we have a whole episode about that, and that was fun. It was, yeah. I enjoyed it. It was long.
Yeah, we don't. It was, oh my god, it was so long. Yeah, but like we like it and don't like it for similar reasons. Basically, the reason she doesn't like it is the reason I like it.
Yes,
which I think is accurate. Which I think is pretty accurate.
Exactly. Excuse me. Well, so I guess
if y'all are good with episode 6, we're good with it.
Yeah.
Episode 7 comes out next month.
And that one we'll be talking about webtoons. Yeah, or webcomics. Yeah,
Webtoons is a site.
Yes. So yeah, we will be talking about webcomics. I think that was a good episode too, which I hope
it was.
I'm going to preemptively start editing that one just so I can check.
Yeah.
For quality, like what we talked about. So yeah, that'll be coming out
next month,
soon-ish. Next month, and we'll do a live following up, and we'll see y'all. And also, y'all can follow us.
Yeah, at the places that you see. Where is Finger? There's Finger.
Yes.
At the places you see us. Also, at the Yaoi shelf, which would be to a side of us, if it's on YouTube.
Yeah. Over here. I think. Yeah.
Watsunuki, no.
Watsunuki.
Oh, I need to name the rose gold humidifier. Yes, I read Starfighter and I love it. I actually mention it, spoiler, in our webcomics episode.
You do. I haven't read it. Like,
I really like Starfighter.
Oh my gosh. Don't get Amanda talking about these until our episode comes out because we want y'all to listen to it.
I feel like I found a way to talk about Starfighter and I'll listen to the episode. You find a way to rope in liquor and cigarettes. I find a way to talk about Starfighter. So
this is true.
It's fair at this stage.
This is true. It is. It is.
What am I supposed to name the rose gold humidifier?
Ciel?
Offensive.
You don't like Ciel?
He's
okay. Sebastian.
Fine. He's perfectly fine. The young master is perfectly fine.
What about Sebastian then?
It is infinitely more useful.
Yes. You can name him Sebastian.
I could name it Sebastian. It does seem a little bit girly for Sebi, though.
Tatsunaka?
Are all the chapters online? Yes, it is, and it's completed. What the fuck was that? What the
fuck? It was like a little gnat.
Just set a trap.
We have one not in here though.
Okay. Very useful.
After I said it, I was like, it doesn't. On that note.
You know what? It can be Yukito.
I approve. Perfect. Okay. Yes. Yes, I like that. Aww.
Because the light is Fi and the fan is Toya and the mic is Watsunuki.
So
Fi who lights up my life and Toya who keeps me going. Kurogane is my car. Watsunuki, just so if ever something happens to them, I get to say no Watsunuki.
No Watsunuki.
You should read it.
I'm gonna look into it definitely because it was recommended by
me.
So I have to.
That werewolf one that I think you'll like more though.
Yeah, but I definitely want to. My plan is.
You can do both, but
yeah,
I'm just saying, you have ones that I think you'll like more. Not that I don't think that you'll like Starfighter. There's just one that I think that you will like infinitely more.
That's fair. Yeah, I'll read them.
Yeah, that was episode 6. We talked about shipping. I had a good time. And we are working on our connectivity stuff. So we are aware that it sounds and looks a little bit chopped. We do know.
We know.
So you don't have to say anything.
We definitely know. Just so y'all know.
We're working on it.
I am working on it and will be shelling out. I mean, listen, y'all have no idea how much we are working.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's all we have to say is that we're working on it.
Because I'm sensitive. So
is it on the official website? Oh my gosh, I am not Google. Yes. Yes, it's on the website. Why wouldn't it be on the official website?
But yeah, so if you have any other questions.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, you know where to find us. I'll be probably putting more designs in the shop. Maybe this weekend, depending on how I feel after this.
Yeah, you're gonna need some rest.
Oh, is that a threat?
No, I'm just saying you need a rest.
God damn. It's like that sounded scary. Like, you're gonna need it. I'm giving you a hard time. You're fine. You can ask me things. That's literally what I'm here for. But it's like, damn. Yeah. So there's probably gonna be designs in the shop this weekend or maybe Monday. I don't fucking know. Time doesn't exist. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. If there's no questions about episode 6 or anything else. This only went an hour longer than you intended.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
We love and appreciate y'all for being here. We truly do. And we'll see y'all next month or on the Twitter if you want to chat with us there. Or individually on the Twitters.
Oh my god, you're so old.
The Instagrams, the YouTubes.
Do we need an Instagram?
No. I can barely.
Yeah, we can't do our own.
Barely.
Do we need a Discord server? Like shit, what do we need?
Absolutely not. No, I can barely handle social. Like, if there was a way that it's just it's the social media part that's like, I wish there was a way that maybe a Discord could. Anyway,
we're gonna talk about Discord off camera. Bye.
Bye. Bye, y'all.